In the previous tutorial, we set up a many-to-many relationship between the members table and also the study groups table. And we did that by inserting a junction table in between those two tables to facilitate this many-to-many relationship. Just take a look at the structure of that junction table. If I can click on it. The structure is we just have three different fields. One is a primary key field, the other two are foreign key fields, one to each of the different primary key fields of the study groups table and the members table. Some of you might be asking, maybe we should have used a duplicate primary key here. That is possible, but just in this instance, I just decided to go for a primary key just on its own, and so it could focus on the foreign key element of the other two fields. So at the end of the last tutorial, what I said was, we just have to focus on populating this junction table with data now, and that's what we're going to do. So if I look at my system, and this is the finished system of what actually will happen after everything is completed, and then I'll show you the code in a moment. But I've got all of my different groups, and what I can do is I can associate different members of the library with different study groups. At the moment I've just got 3 different study groups in there, and I've associated different members in there. And again, just to show you that this is a many-to-many relationship, a group can have many different members associated with it, but also different members can associate themselves with different groups. So for instance, you can see Simon Laban here is in the English study group, but he is also in the history study group as well. Let's say that I want to add another member to the Chinese study group. So Holly Golightly, for instance, here, she's already in the history study group, but I want to associate her with the Chinese study group as well. So I'm just going to go to an add members section in my groups. That gives me a list of all my different study groups. I want to choose Chinese, and also I want to choose the member Holly Golightly. I add the member, and that should go off and do it. If I show groups now, I should see Holly Golightly is now associated with the Chinese study group, as well as still being associated with the history study group as well. What has essentially happened when I added Holly Golightly onto the Chinese study group is I have just created a new record in the junction table, because Holly Golightly already exists in the members table. The Chinese study group already exists in the study groups table. So all I have to do then is to create a new record in the junction table that just associates the Chinese study group with an ID of 6 with the member Holly Golightly with an ID of 5. So let's look at the code to do that. First of all, I've just got an add members to study group. This is the code for this page here, where I just get 2 different select boxes. One of them populates itself from the study groups table, the other populates itself from the members table. So let's take a look at that code. And it's just a form. First of all, when I submit this form, it's going to go to another page called insert member to study group.php. This is the select box for the study groups, and I'm just going off there, connecting to the database, selecting all the different rows from study groups and populating that select box with all the different information. Note as well that I'm showing the name, but what I actually pass as a value through to the next PHP page is actually the study group ID. And I also do the same for all the members as well. So here's the member select box, and I'm just again querying the members table, and again show the name, and I've taken both the different fields, the forename and the surname field, concatenating them together, but I pass the ID. And once that gets submitted, it gets submitted onto this next page, which is insert member to study group.php. Let's take a code view of that. So straight away I'm connecting to the database there again, and I insert with an SQL statement. So insert into the junction table the 2 different fields, study group foreign key and the member foreign key as well. Why don't I have to worry about the primary key? Because my MySQL table for that junction table, it has auto increment set on for the primary key of that junction table. So I just have to worry about the 2 foreign keys, and I'm inserting in the values that have been passed from the 2 different select boxes from the previous page. And that is essentially it. I just echo out a different alert saying that that has happened, and that's all there is to it. But again, just to recap, all that's happening on that page is I choose the study group, and I choose a member, I add that member to the study group. I'm only creating one record that is in that junction table, and that's it. Next time that I go back to the show groups, I can see all of the different members associated with all of the different groups. And we can see that member Ronald McDonald has just been added there. I've actually added him twice, so that's a bit of a bug in the system that I need to fix. And here's a good point to actually show you the delete feature in this system. I've just added Ronald McDonald twice. I want to delete one of those records. Again, where am I going to delete it from? I'm going to delete it from the junction table. So when I actually click on delete here for Ronald McDonald, member is removed from the group. One of those instances, actually both of those instances for Ronald McDonald has been removed. And just to show you the code for that, if I go back to my Dreamweaver, open up my delete members page, and again I'm just passing through using the get feature, the get array. I'm passing through the ID of that member, and I'm just saying delete from members where member ID equals, and I get the member ID. And again, that goes to show why all instances of Ronald McDonald that were in that junction table, anywhere where that member foreign key is listed as the Ronald McDonald ID, they were all removed. And that's how to populate and to remove all of these different associations in a many-to-many relationship. All of the action takes place in the junction table. The junction table that is, in my case, Junction Study Groups members.